Hi, and welcome to day 47 of 365 Days of Art. You may have noticed that I've been doing something a little different with the videos. Throughout the week, I've had shorter process videos, not the full video like this, where I'm necessarily talking to you. And I think I'm gonna stick with something like that throughout the week, kind of change up the videos, maybe make them themed towards each day. And what I want to do at the end of the week on Sundays like this is just kind of to recap, and these are great videos for you to post in the comments if there's something that you would like me to check out, or maybe if there was a technique you were confused about. During the week, I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. What I want to recap today is you've been seeing me getting back to acrylic pours. I didn't think I was going to, and then I just saw some videos with different techniques and processes that I really wanted to try, when I saw them, they sparked my own ideas, and I was like, oh, that would be really cool to play with. So I am going to play with more of that today. This is still going to be a painting video. My goal with the acrylic pours as I move forward is to get very specific effects. That's why I haven't been super enthused by it in the past, is that while it's a lot of fun to dump colors in a cup and then just surprise, you get to see whatever happens on the canvas. It's a lot of fun. It's just not really what I'm going for. I want what I see in my head to transfer to the canvas, to get very specific things. So that is my goal. Again, let me know if there's anything you really want to see before we get started playing with that today. What I have behind me are a couple of acrylic pours, and that's the other thing that I want to explore, is that I feel most of the magic of the acrylic pours comes when you see them wet. That's why it's so much fun to watch those videos and see all the paint swirling and settling. And then usually at the very end, because they take a while to dry, you see them still liquid and wet. And they look so cool, but they don't look that cool when they dry. That's where the magic kind of is lost for me, is that you still have the feathery effects. They're still really pretty, but they're not as magical and alluring. So I wanted to play around with gloss varnishes, and what I'm really hoping to find is a way to keep the painting looking wet. In addition to keeping the painting looking wet, the other goal of varnishing is that you're trying to protect your painting. You want it to last against the toll of time, and that's against dust and light, especially UV rays, everything that really can degrade your painting. By putting a varnish over top, you're giving your painting extra protection, even if it is a matte varnish or a satin varnish. I do plan on getting both of those. Right now what I had on hand was gloss, because again, I'm really going for that wet look. I had gloss from two different brands, so I'm looking at Liquitex as well as Golden. Even though the Golden brand is a little more expensive than Liquitex, you are meant to dilute it. It is actually 4 parts this to 1 part water. So while you're not meant to dilute it a ton and it doesn't increase the volume a whole lot, when you do dilute it, and I just put it in a squirt container like this, it makes it just liquid enough that a little goes a really long way, because if you try to apply it too thickly, it's not gonna hold up. It's just that liquid. If you put it in a bottle like this, what I really enjoy is that you don't have to squirt it out and then apply it. You can just literally squirt this on your painting in a nice thin even layer. And then Golden does not recommend using a sponge brush. They recommend using just a regular brush to apply this. That's what I used. I used a great big soft brush, and because it is so liquid, it didn't retain any of the brush strokes, so that luckily was not an issue. I have 2 paintings here with the Liquitex applied to them, and you can see as I kind of move them around, they are very glossy, but they don't look as wet as I want them to. And this is after 2 layers that I put on here. I also want to show you guys, this is why you don't touch your paintings until they're dry. One of my greatest struggles with acrylic pours. It is thicker, so it takes a minute to dry, so I touched this. That's okay, this is just for experiment. I've been using these boards that I just got. They're canvas boards. I'm enjoying them because they're great for practice. I don't mind at all if I need to sand it back down, maybe apply some more gesso over it. Because while I like to keep practice pieces, and I do recommend you keep some practice pieces, the amount that you need to practice to get better, that's a lot of artwork, and artwork that you may not necessarily like. So it's kind of a give and take there. Overall, not bad. Not quite as gloss-like and wet paint looking as I want. To be fair to Golden, they do recommend using their varnish with a gloss gel first. So they actually want you to protect the painting with the gloss gel and then apply this over top. While that's interesting, my issue with that is that the gloss gel can be a lot harder to get a smooth, flat surface like it is with something very liquid. You know, it just retains the strokes a little bit, which can be good if that's what you're going for, but that's not really what I wanted to happen on these pieces. I'm still gonna give it a try, not to mention that it adds an extra step. And while layers are so important for paintings, especially when you're seeing those wow paintings and you're like, oh my goodness, how did they do that? Slowly, deliberately, lots of layers. But sometimes you just want to be able to finish up a painting nicely, and you may not have time to complete that entire process. Plus cost. It's just literally another product that you have to use and put on your painting to achieve a result, so it's not super budget friendly either. Moving on to Liquitex. I did 2 paintings with the Liquitex as well. So here's the Liquitex gloss varnish. You are not meant to dilute this with any water. It just goes directly on your painting. Similar to the Golden, where I put it in a bottle, you can squirt it directly from this bottle onto your painting, and they don't recommend one way or the other how to apply it. So I went ahead and used a sponge brush just because I know for sure that that's not going to give me the strokes. Because you don't dilute this, it is thicker. So that's another reason that I was trying to be careful not to get brush strokes on these paintings. For both of these, what I did was apply a first coat directly onto the painting, allow at least 3 hours for it to dry, apply a second coat over top of that, and then again, allow at least another 3 hours for that to be dry to the touch for you to handle it and move it around without ruining it. However, you're going to want to give it a couple of days to dry before you actually transport this painting, before you let anything else touch the surface of the painting, whether that's to just take it to a venue or if you're trying to ship it. So give that plenty of time to cure fully. Even if it feels dry to the touch, it may not be fully cured, so it doesn't have its full strength yet. Looking at the 2 paintings I applied this to, I didn't apply it as thickly to this one, but you can see how glossy that is. Yeah, I used really thin coats on this one and it's still super glossy. Where the paint was thicker on like the tree, that's where it really still looks wet, and I'm quite impressed. This makes me really happy. But the one that wins, hands down, is the one I did on stretched canvas, and I went ahead and applied a generous coat to this. Not too thick, you could still see through to the painting, but I made sure that there was a nice thin milky layer over the whole thing, and you can see my lights in that. That is how glossy this is. It's really perfect. When you're looking at it, this painting definitely looks wet. I love this. There are no brush marks from where I used the sponge. This is the winner for me so far. Still gonna try the Golden, but this makes me really happy. So right now, highly recommend Liquitex Gloss Varnish. Super in love with it. Setting those aside and getting to today's project, I'm doing another acrylic pour. I haven't been super scientific with how I've been mixing my colors. I have colors that are mixed with just paint and water, and then for the base, the either white or black, I've mixed paint with Floetrol with just a little bit of water to get the consistency that I'm looking for. So I'm still playing around with my ratios, but I do want to use what I've already mixed up and not be wasteful. As far as technique, like I said, I'm going for specific results. I don't just want to let the paint do whatever it wants. I actually want to control it a little bit. So for today, I'm going to stick my fingers in the paint because I've been loving the finger painting, as you may have seen in previous videos, and I haven't seen anybody just get in there and try to do designs with their fingers. It may work out, it may not. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's paint. that wraps us up for today. I still have it drying over on the table. As soon as it is dry, I'll be posting photos on my Instagram and Facebook, all the various places that you can find me. Once again, if there's anything you would like to see in this upcoming week or any techniques, something that you want me to try out for you, let me know down in the comments. I'll check them out. Excited to keep this journey going. See you guys next time. Bye.